Well, happy Friday the 13th, everybody. I'm coming at you today to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about some finding suppliers. We're going to talk about some other random stuff. We're going to talk about what I'm planning on doing here in the near future. And we'll see where it all goes. The first thing I wanted to talk about, though, is a little bit of how I've mentioned before, I think, and other people have echoed it, that there are suppliers all over the place. But the number one thing that I hear from people is that they can't find suppliers and that they're having issues finding suppliers. And I just want to bring up something that you may not have thought about, and that's just to keep your eyes open. There's methodologies that you can use. I have taught a few. I think my half-hour business, I worked through some contacting suppliers and calling them, emailing them, some of my process for doing that. There's trade shows, there's all sorts of methods that you can use to find suppliers. You can kind of reverse engineer suppliers from Amazon, contacting brands directly and asking who their suppliers are. There's a lot of different ways that you can find suppliers. And really, it's not limited to just Amazon and online. You can actually find suppliers in real life. So actually, we found some suppliers that are local to us simply by keeping our eyes open while we drive down the road. Example of that, I live in Muskegon, Michigan. A couple weeks ago, actually I think it was a month or two ago now, we were up in Ludington and I was out salmon fishing, and we got back from our salmon fishing day, and as we were cleaning fish, a semi drove by that was actually a brand that was on this page. It's this Floracraft. I'm like, what in the world is that? And it was just a semi that was Floracraft on the side of it, as their semi. I'm like, what in the world? Who are these people? I saw that they were manufactured. So I decided to look them up after I got home. And they sell these blocks of foam for creating flower designs. And the first thing I noticed when I pulled this up is there aren't that many people actually selling this kind of stuff. There's a few things from Floracraft. Then, it's a pretty wide open market. Not that great of pictures anywhere. It's just something that kind of falls under the radar. Let's see if I can drag this over so we can still see. See, this guy is selling a bundle. So he's got floral tape and green styrofoam wet foam bricks. Good for him. This is the kind of stuff I like to do all day long. Is doing some of these multi-packs, kind of bundles, things that people would buy together. But if you look at some of these revenues here and some of the BSRs, this is actually, not a bad market to get into. And a lot of you may look at this and go, okay, well, if I'm going to jump into this market, if I'm going to sell other people's products, it's going to take me, I'm not going to get that much in sales. And by the time I get my cost of goods out of, after FBA fees and all that, it's not really going to cost me much. And I think you're kind of missing the point. The point is, it's something, and you have to start out somewhere. So you start out somewhere, and if it doesn't make you profit, you move on, or you figure out how to make it profit. This one is an 8-piece. That probably makes money there. This one, it's a 2 per pack. Amazon's selling it. How I know that is I already pulled this up once. Amazon's selling it, and the margin's 60 cents. So, looking at these prices, I'm going to guess these are awfully cheap to buy. Looking at that, okay, you're not going to make money on a 2-pack, but what if you go out and let's see what this guy is doing. It's Key Dudes is the... So he's ranked right here. He's doing $3,000 a month in revenue. Yeah, his margin isn't that great, but I'm going to guess his cost of goods is just $2 or $3. So that's $2 profit on 170 units. That's not bad at all. I'm going to click on it, and sorry, I just cost him money because I click on the sponsored one. Oh well. So, click on it, look at it. So he's just selling 6 foam blocks and some tape. Pretty standard, right? You know, nothing spectacular. His pictures aren't amazing. They're pretty good. But it looks like he photoshopped that. That's a Photoshop job. Just the way that it's hyper-realistic, and so when you look at this, this is the side that's in shadow on these, and these two are in the light. But over here, this is the side that's in light, and this is in shadow. So this is a Photoshop job. He took two pictures and mashed them together. And then he just kind of, you know, he probably stole some pictures, honestly. I shouldn't say that because it's mean of me, but it's honestly probably what he did. And nothing wrong with that, you know, if it's for public use, if it's from a product that he's already selling. Oh, here we go, right there. That's the that's half of his picture. So here's where some of his pictures come from. Key Dudes. So he's selling the 6 blocks here, and then he's selling some with tape. So, you know, there's all sorts of methods you could go about doing this, but if you decided to start into a market like this, and yeah, it doesn't sell that much in a month, you know, you're talking on a big listing, $1,000, $2,000 in revenue. An amazing listing, you might be talking 4,000 or 5,000, and that would be if you just hit it out of the park. But also the risk is pretty low, because if you look at it, it's pretty easy to get onto page 1. You know, there's not a lot of competition, and if you do some pretty decent pictures and write a decent listing like this guy's doing, he's a good example. See, he's a bestseller, and well, that's not right, but he's doing a few tricks. So, but you look at it and say, you know, this is a product where you start out with one bundle, or you start out with one item, and then you start adding. You know, you add multiple bundles and multiple variations and create listings for all of them. Before long, you've got half of the listings on page 1. Now, instead of talking, you know, 1,000 or 2,000, you're doing 10,000 in revenue just from this one little niche that nobody has thought about before. And, you know, we get there from just noticing a semi that drives by. You know, that's where this whole kind of thing came from. Now, we personally have not decided to pursue this simply because we've got so many other opportunities, and we're working toward doing some heavier hitting in some places. But, you know, this is a decent opportunity. Now, granted, you're going to have to figure out sourcing on stuff like this, but, you know, I'm just tossing this out. Now, granted, I'm tossing this out, so maybe it's not an opportunity anymore because a couple people might jump in and start doing it. But just think about it. So you offer a 6-pack, you offer a 4-pack, you offer an 8-pack, you offer some square and some circles. There's wire that goes in floral designs too. I think my Amazon is, there we go. So if we look at this, so you start to create bundles on top of, you know, maybe you can find this Noah and Malou, and yeah, maybe it's this guy's private label brand. But something like this where you can jump on and start selling right away, and then you add in that, you know, okay, we've got some waterproof tape that goes with it. We look at it, there's floral arranging kits, we've got wire cutters, there's wire. I saw on another one that there's wire that goes with this kind of stuff. You know, you start to branch out into, you know, kind of related niches, and all of a sudden you've got a $20,000 or $30,000 business selling, you know, 20 or 30 products that each do $1,000 a month. And then what happens when, you know, somebody leaves a bad review on one product? Who cares? You know, it becomes a thing that's very similar to doing buy box stuff, where it doesn't matter if you get a bad review because you've got so many products out there selling so well, you know, that a little dip in one isn't going to make a big deal overall. and it creates a very stable business, and you're going to do well in the long term when you do this. And this would be a niche that would be pretty easy to break into and pretty easy to sell better. I mean, look at this. This is Amazon selling this. No, it's sold by Floral Supply, but it shows that Amazon is on Keepa. So that's interesting. But I mean, look at the product. Horrible picture, one picture. It doesn't tell you what it's used for. Now granted, most people who are doing this are going to be buying, and they know what they're buying, so you don't have to explain it very well. But maybe that's also a market, people who are doing some kind of additional hobbyist type stuff where they're looking for stuff that they're not quite sure what they're using. So a little bit of explanation wouldn't hurt. So that being said, this was all from just one single drive-by. I saw a semi drive-by. I put it in the back of my head, went, oh, that's interesting. And the next day when I was in the office, I looked it up. Went, well, this could actually be a decent opportunity. Now, granted, like I said, it's not something we're going to pursue, mostly because I decided to put it on a video. If I'm going to put it out there for everybody else, I'm probably not going to pursue it myself. Not because I want to keep all the good things to myself. Actually, I think this is a good opportunity. But it's just I've got so many opportunities to pursue that if one of you guys decides to pick this up, I don't want to compete with you. So that's kind of my philosophy on that. We've got so many other directions we're going at the time right now that I can't keep track of all of them, which is why I have employees that do it for me. So anyway, that's that. Now I want to talk a little bit more about some of the things that I've had going on in my life, where I'm pursuing right now, and what it's going to mean for the channel. So maybe you guys don't realize it, but YouTube doesn't let you monetize anything until you've got over 1,000 subscribers. We're obviously not there on this channel, and that's okay. I'm going to keep producing content. But I would like to get paid for my services eventually. And I do think that providing these videos is somewhat of a service. Quite frankly, I produce content and put it out there for you guys for free, and a lot of people would charge for what I'm offering you for free. And I don't expect to really, drive traffic to anything. If I see a good source or something good come up, I might promote it, but it's not something that I really enjoy doing. I want to provide content to you guys. I want to give it to you for free, and I really like to see other people succeed. So if you've been learning from what I've been sharing, please let me know. I really do appreciate it. Sometimes I don't get to responding to comments, mostly because the channel is small and I don't have to check in on it every day in order to keep it running. Now granted, I would like to make money from this eventually, and I really don't want to charge for my services. I don't want to put my stuff behind a firewall or a paywall. Not a firewall, that's a different thing. So I really don't want to put my stuff behind a paywall. I'd really like to keep it free and help people. I've also been doing some coaching. It's something that I enjoy doing, but I also don't care to charge for, just because I like to help people too much. And so it's created a bit of a quandary for me. And so what I'd like to, ask you to do is to, if you haven't subscribed, to subscribe. And if you know people who would be helped by this content, who are interested in starting businesses on Amazon, who are looking for additional revenue sources for their Amazon business or additional ideas, to send them to this channel and to ask them to subscribe as well, because as soon as I get over that 1,000, I can start to monetize a little bit, and it'll get a little money coming in for me, and that'll make me happier and enjoy putting together more content for you guys. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling cycle in that way. Don't worry, I'm not gonna, like I said, put anything at this time behind a paywall, and I don't foresee that happening anytime in the near future. So that's kind of my request to you guys. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you know people who are in the Amazon business who don't know about me, please send them my way, because I'd really appreciate it. I appreciate the support. And, you know, I really do just want to keep providing free content and to create a space where we can collaborate together. I know in my Facebook group, ABC Entrepreneurs, I've been asking a few things of people as well. So, you know, maybe if you're not a part of that group, reach out and ask to join. It is a closed group, and I do ask you what you are doing on Amazon, and if you don't respond to that question, I won't let you in, simply because I want to protect the space. If you're somebody that markets to people that sell on Amazon, I probably won't let you in either, if you're not actually selling on Amazon yourself. Because quite frankly, I want it to be about Amazon sellers and not people marketing to them. And I want it to be about someplace where people can come and get good help. And I've found some posts that people make very helpful to me. So if you're not a part of that group, please jump over and join that group on Facebook as well. So that's it for now. I'm going to keep producing content for you guys. But I'd really like to not have to charge for it and still get a little bit of money. So we'll make the ad people pay me for that, if at all possible, but we've got to get there first. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend, and I've got a few videos coming up that I think you'll probably really like. I'm going to talk about how you can go to $1 million in 15 months. I've still got to get a few items to put that video together. But that's coming in the near future. And yeah, we've got a few other thoughts going on. I'm going to pursue some more kind of a series about how to bundle and what I look for in bundling and market domination and that kind of stuff. So stay tuned, and thank you for your time, and have a wonderful day. Bye.